Good morning and welcome to the Efficiency First webinar, Residential Clean Energy Roundtable. My name is Chris Cohn. I'm Program Director for Efficiency First California. And I am joined today by our Executive Director, Ori Skloot, and members of our Board of Directors. I want to let everybody know that this webinar is being recorded and the video and PDF slides will be available on our website following the broadcast. And after the presentation, we'll also have a Q&A session. We are very interested in hearing what you think about this proposal and talking with you to better understand how we can move things forward as a partnership. So let's see here. Okay. So as we are all aware, we have a huge goal, and industry is completely aligned behind the state goal of reducing energy use in the residential sector by 40% by 2020. We understand that this depends on a robust industry that can grow at an accelerated rate, and that because of climate change, time is of the essence. And the market that we have to hit is huge. 13.6 million California housing units, 30% of them multifamily and 60% owner-occupied. This is a lot of territory to cover, and we have to think big and plan to scale quickly if we're going to reach our goal. Luckily, we have a really powerful engine to do this. We have a multifaceted value proposition for consumers that includes economic, health, comfort, and clean energy resource values. We also have a range of business models and expertise in the private sector, delivering services at affordable prices. We also have healthy market competition, and as we move toward the next phase in residential energy efficiency, which will be based on the energy units saved as a commodity and a performance-based market, we're going to see more competition and more innovation based on that will really accelerate us to our climate and energy goals. And finally, we have traditional market structures already in place and working at large scale in other sectors. We have energy procurement, finance, and industry partners that are waiting for the residential sector to be ready to scale. And we have a very talented and broad partnership which is already working together, industry, policymakers, utilities, government entities, nonprofit partners, and then the consumers themselves helping us understand their needs and how to meet them in a way that works for them. So when we put all this together, we have the ingredients for a real solution to the problem of reaching our goal. And the first part of that is focusing on building a market. Programs need to support but not try to define the market. And finding that sweet spot in relationship to market building, I think, is one of the next challenges that we have. The next part of the solution is inclusive collaboration. To build a scalable market, we need all partners at the table working together to calibrate the program efforts to meet the market needs. And this is something that has not happened on this scale before. We've already broke precedents a number of times, including the establishment of the Energy Upgrade California Working Group. But now it's time to take that collaboration model and move it forward. And then finally, full industry partnership. We're talking about growing a market, and contractors and companies are at the front lines of that process and understand the market better than anybody. So having industry at the table from the beginning will ensure that program decisions capture not only market opportunities, but also help to avoid creating barriers to success. So where are we now? Well, we did a little number crunching using the program metrics report from September 2014 that is provided through the Energy Upgrade California Working Group, and tried to break out a portrait of where we are right now, and then apply that to our goal of 40% savings in the residential sector. And as you can see from this very quick number crunching example, our current rate is obviously not going to cut it, and I don't think anybody on this call thought that it would. But these numbers do show that the old paradigm needs to be abandoned, and we need to move forward to something that's going to address our goal in a new way. Now, some on the call may not be familiar with the entire network of partners that are part of the market building process, so I'm going to take a minute here to just do a 30,000-foot overview for folks. The way that this works is the California legislature passes bills that set the terms for the goals of the state. We have the California Energy Commission, whose impact on the residential sector comes largely through the energy codes and working with state and local building officials. And then we have the California Public Utilities Commission, which is in charge of monitoring our investor-owned utilities and using the ratepayer funds to effectively produce efficiency savings and promote markets and good policy for energy efficiency and the effective use of the ratepayer funding, and to meet state goals such as our energy goals. And then in the dotted box there are all our immediate partners in the home upgrade program. We have 4 investor utilities, and they're implementing teams, and we have 2 regional energy networks, one in the Bay Area and one in the LA area. And the regional energy networks are comprised of local governments who are working together to be the implementer of efficiency programs in their jurisdictions. So right now, the primary discussions for how the program is going to function, what kind of updates it needs, trying to address challenges for the programs, is the Energy Upgrade Working Group. And this graph shows you the membership of the group. You can see there are 5 basic groups. We have industry, utilities, and their implementing partners, the regional energy networks and their implementing partners, other stakeholders, nonprofit organizations, as well as government agencies. And as you can see right now, the industry representation is basically consists of 1 trade association, that would be Efficiency First California, the Building Performance Institute, and recently, thanks to efforts of the co-chairs of the working group, individual participating contractors, a select number have been invited to engage with the working group to provide industry perspective. But at the moment, the working group is an advisory-only body. Both co-chairs are from the program partners. It has no decision-making ability and is not held to a consensus process, although the discussions and the goodwill and intentions of all the members are to be productive and inclusive. And currently there is no public access to the advisory group process or documentation. In this current scenario, decisions are made in this manner. industry and trade associations and others can comment on program issues and bring those comments to the working group. The working group can consider those comments in light of all the other interests and goals that the group represents, and then they make recommendations to the regional energy networks and the investor-owned utilities, who are the entities that are charged with the responsibility of using ratepayer funds to run efficiency programs. And the regional energy networks and investor-owned utilities design and submit proposals about program structures, program changes to the Public Utilities Commission, which makes the final decision about what changes to adopt and how funding will be used. If industry concerns are not addressed satisfactorily or to the satisfaction of industry partners in this process, industry has one final option, which is to comment on the proposals submitted to the CPUC in the rulemaking process. And for those who are not involved in the rulemaking process on a regular basis, it is, as you may have gathered from the previous slide about the residential landscape, the rulemaking process is complex and expensive to participate in. So it is a system that is not yet set up to respond quickly to issues that are being raised by industry. So the current situation has some limitations. Right now there's no accountability to the market. Industry representation is limited and is not funded, while most of the rest of the participants on the working group are funded in one way or another to participate. The working group does not have an authority-making role. It is not using a formal consensus process currently, and the meetings and documentation are not widely available or easily available to the public. And until recently, the discussions and the thinking was program-centric, which is a point of view that has limitations and is not going to address the type of scale that we need. So the consequences of our current system are that programs have been designed with for implementers, primarily meeting implementer needs. Contractors participating in the program have a high cost to submit and provide rebates to their customers, and that participation cost erodes their profit margin. There is a focus now on building up the volume through the home upgrade menu program, but there is a very real concern that focusing on volume may, in fact, in the long run, dilute the whole house model. And as we all know, it's building science and the ability to get significant energy savings out of homes that are going to last, because the improvements are more or less permanent to the structure, that is the pathway to our climate change problem. So whole house model is very important to keep that at the center of our activities. Other consequences of our current efforts are that large players have hung back from participating. Contractors who are in the program, many of them are struggling and some have even dropped out. Contractor morale is generally pretty low. And again, industry participation has been inhibited by a lack of funding to engage in a time-consuming process. So where do we need to go? And that's really the question that we want to get your ideas about, and we want to tell you about our ideas and get your comments and input on it today. So this is a map of the Residential Clean Energy Roundtable, which is a new model for statewide collaboration that Efficiency First California has proposed. There are some significant changes to this model over what we are currently doing. The first is that the industry partners would, in fact, establish an industry council and engage the full representation of various industry groups that are part of the residential energy efficiency market. So we would reach out to HVAC trade associations, remodeling industry, insulation, equipment manufacturers, solar industry, energy auditors, and bring these partners together as a think tank for industry so that we are providing to the roundtable itself a comprehensive and knowledgeable information about market needs and market opportunities. By establishing an industry council, we would significantly improve the representation on the statewide body and really give a robust industry presence to inform the activities there. We also would like the roundtable to be a consensus-based body so that as partners we can work out together solutions that work for everyone and that are really focused on market building as the primary goal of this. So this is a quick view of what we propose for the general structure of a new partnership. Under this model, decisions would be made a little bit differently than they currently are. The partners, individual sectors partners of the roundtable would, as they do now, but this would be at an even higher and more involved level, develop proposals for consideration by the roundtable, bringing their individual perspectives and needs to the discussion. Then the roundtable itself would collaborate on achieving a consensus about what program changes or policies would work best to serve all the partners and result in a market building outcome. And that would turn the Residential Clean Energy Roundtable into a decision-making body whose proposals and ideas that are achieved through a consensus process would become the framework of the proposals that the ratepayer fund administrators would put to the Public Utilities Commission moving forward. The features of this new approach are that we would have a market-focused industry council, and we have precedents for this type of organization. One here in California is the Western HVAC Performance Alliance. As a consensus-based roundtable, the collaboration process would be deepened and made more effective as we come to understand each other's needs and perspectives through the process of reaching consensus. The decision-making authority would be in terms of making these recommendations about which changes would be effective for the market building goal. The roundtable would be able to vet program changes and identify market building initiatives as a team, and also we would seek funding to support the industry councils so that industry representation can be on par with other current partners. So here's a little breakdown of the industry council model that we're proposing. The primary role would be to review proposed program changes and provide feedback on market building impacts, but also the council would initiate and would propose initiatives themselves and program updates based on their collective experience about what is happening in the market and where the opportunities are. There would be one representative from each trade association or industry group and up to 10 home upgrade participating contractors on the council. And the council would have, we recommend, 4 representatives attending the Residential Clean Energy Roundtable. And the council would meet monthly as the roundtable would, so that it can digest information and prepare proposals or comments ahead of the roundtable, so that there would be a good, healthy discussion at the roundtable. So at the roundtable level, we would, as I said, use a consensus process. We have our same partners, but we now have the ability under this model to have a transparent and accountable collaboration using the consensus process. And as a group with a balanced representation of stakeholders in the residential sector, the Residential Clean Energy Roundtable would also be a good candidate as a stakeholder group for the forthcoming rolling portfolio stakeholder process. And this proposal, we believe, does align with the spirit of the CPUC directive that established the current working group to establish a cooperative design and implementation approach that involves all parties. We also recommend that the roundtable have one co-chair from the program implementer and one from the industry council to have a balanced leadership. And we feel that this is an opportunity. Basically, this proposal is a way of expanding the current working group, same membership, same funding, but expanding it and adding to it in order to enhance the ability of the statewide partnership to really be focusing on market building, which is where the ability to scale resides. So the benefits of this approach are now we have better accountability to the market. We have a much better industry representation. Industry input would come earlier in the process. The consensus goal would allow a deeper partnership. There would be authority in the process of coming to consensus about what the next phase of changes would be. There would be transparency and the ability to participate in the rolling portfolio stakeholder process. And as far as industry is concerned, a big benefit would be an end to being a guinea pig in the market, beta testing program design ideas and that have not been informed by industry input before they are implemented through the program. So why is this the time to change the way we do things? I think it's pretty broadly understood and accepted that the program-centric approach is not working, and we have studies that point to that, as well as press coverage bringing that up. So we're not reaching our numbers fast enough, and a program approach is not going to scale. Also, why now has to do with something that's going to be coming in the next year, at least, if not sooner, and that is a move to commoditizing the energy unit savings that these efficiency projects are producing. The broadening allowable software project that was called for by the CPUC and conducted by PG&E on behalf of the other utilities is already moving ahead. They've completed their initial process here and will have software packages in the market that will provide this ability to have a reliable energy savings estimate. And that ability is key to treating the energy saved as a commodity like any other type of clean energy commodity, including the kilowatt hours generated by solar systems. Once that happens, we will have a performance, the opportunity for a real performance-based market. And we want to be ready for that, because that's when things are going to start to scale and we're going to see real innovation. So it would be better to be ready for success by having a robust partnership in place. Why now? Contractors need a reason to believe and trust in the program partnership. We have contractors who have been in the program from the beginning, and they are pioneers, and in my mind, they're really heroes. And it has been a journey for everyone, but they're the soldiers on the front line. And if we're going to make this work, we need their partnership, and we need their trust, and we need them to continue to invest in the future of this industry. So this is not a minor point. And then finally, there is a movement to focus on market building. The CPUC did direct that the working group conduct a market transformation initiative, which is currently underway. And it is, this team is drafting a plan that would assist in decision making for Energy Upgrade California for the next 10 years. And they are currently looking at a new governance structure for the home upgrade program. In attending a workshop for the Market Transformation Initiative recently, their draft idea for the statewide partnership retains the current working group structure and advisory capacity. It adds a second group, a decision-making group consisting of the IOU and REN ratepayer program implementers. But within the structure as it is currently drafted, industry is positioned as a handshake partner that is outside the home upgrade program process. And there's one problem with this. There isn't a fundamental change in the statewide partnership, and industry is still left out of decision making. So today we are hoping to get a dialogue going about this, because we would like to see this new governance structure be more robust and more representative in the ways that we have outlined thus far. So why is this so important? It's important because the performance-based residential efficiency industry is relatively new. And it is the only real tool we have to address significant greenhouse gas emissions coming from our homes. Building science works, and that's what home performance and building performance is about. And this is an unprecedented situation in which an industry is called upon to deliver a time-dependent environmental result. But that's the reality. We need to get those, we need to reduce those fossil fuel use in buildings, and this industry is positioned to deliver that result. Also, the big picture is not lost on industry participants, and this is something that's part of the thinking and part of the sense of what role this industry can play in California. So at this time, we urge that we have to be bold, and we have to step up, and we have to march toward a new paradigm as fast as we can.